What is your most beautiful country in your opinion? The US and New Zealand. I lean slightly towards New Zealand, but really it's a toss-up. Both countries damn near have everything: tropics, forests, mountains, beaches, deserts, plains, wetlands, tropical temperate rainforests, glaciers, etc. I lean more towards New Zealand though, because everything is so close together, whereas in the US you generally have to travel pretty far to get from one climate type to the next, and a handful of types aren't technically found in the continental 48, they're found in Hawaii or Alaska. The northern areas of Pakistan: Hunza Valley, Azad Kashmir, Skardu, Fairy Meadows, Swat Valley, Maree, Neelam Valley, Shanjara Pass, Gilgit, etc. X200b. Top 10 places to visit in Skardu, Gilgit Baltistan. Vlogger visits Skardu. Most beautiful cities to visit in Pakistan. My view is skewed because I'm a born American and only left this country twice, to Canada, and neither time did I spend more than a few hours. So I've never actually even spent an entire day outside the US. Both times I went to Canada it was the winter, and that's not very beautiful no matter where you are. So I can only judge them falsely against only one other thing I do know. So I have to say the US, but I am aware it's not a very accurate or impartial opinion. Croatia, Greece, Portugal and Iceland. Switzerland is also beautiful though, for mountains and lakes. Haven't been to whole Italy but probably to. It's just extreme touristic though, but like really too much. Most of European countries are just stunning with such a diverse culture and landscape, but also very safe. There might be other countries with nice landscapes but then not safe and dirty, chaotic with tons of animals and diseases, which makes it not such a nice experience. Each country has its own beauty. The beauty of your own country could be a completely in your blind spot, because you're just used to it. The grass always seems greener on the other side of the fence. You cannot compare countries to find the most beautiful. How can you compare the dramatic views of USA's national parks, to the deep gorges of Slovenia's Emerald River, or the alien expanses of Iceland? They are nothing alike. And all are amazing, in their own way. I've been to 38 countries, every continent, and I gotta say the US solely because Yellowstone, Yosemite, Tahoe, Highway 1 in California, and so much more. Second place is Laos. Third is India. But the question isn't very fair, because some countries are just massive and encapsulate so much beauty within their borders. For instance, I've never been to China, but given how big its borders are, I'm sure there's unfathomable beauty everywhere within. Another one came to mind, one of my great-grandfathers. When he heard about the armistice of September 8, 1943, he was on leave. In those days, the Germans went to barracks, and Italian soldiers were faced with the choice of joining the Italian Social Republic or being deported. My great-grandfather managed to save himself thanks to the help of his father-in-law, who worked as a station master, and who passed him off as a railwayman. India: the diversity in landscape is pretty incredible. We have the beautiful beaches of Andaman and Lakshadweep, the majestic Himalayas, the Sundarbans, tea estates of Assam, the backwaters of Kerala and the stunning Kashmir. We also have beautiful temples, mosques, churches and gurdwaras. If you're a better wildlife enthusiast, it's one of the few countries in the world where you can spot both tiger and the lion in the wild. The city planning and urban design in the Netherlands is outrageously good. Even small towns and villages are efficiently built for both space, greenery and traffic flow. People looked into this, and the emphasis on biking and smart infrastructure leads to the average Canadian spending 1.5–2.5 hours a day more on commuting than the average Dutch. And that's Canada. Imagine the US or China with their endless traffic jams. For me it's Singapore. Very modern, safe, orderly, clean, food's great and international, nature like trees and parks are mixed in the city, and just the overall vibe. I would move there if only I have a passive income or am one of these tech geniuses who can work anywhere and still earn big time. Switzerland is okay too, but I don't like the idea that most ill-gotten wealth of corrupt leaders around the world are deposited there. Germany for me. I've visited about 25 countries all over the globe, and Germany stands out. From the natural areas to the cities to the small towns, I just find it adorable. Southern China is unique and pretty with nature too, but it's hard to get over the pollution and miserable urban areas. Brazil has some beautiful natural areas, but again, it's hard to get over the issues in the urban areas. It varies so much by mood. Here are a bunch. And so many more I don't have time to list. I really love Croatia. I was there this summer with my friends. We arrived at night and had to sleep on the beach, but it was no big deal. We managed to do absolutely everything: sea fishing, caught sea urchins, sea stars, visited islands, explored a separate island, climbed rocks, and got to know the locals. But climbing rocks was our favorite part. Peace. We're 20 years old. Finland, you have to see it to believe it. The countryside, the people, the language. I think maybe the climate in midwinter could be a tad warmer. But you can't have everything. And who wants darkness in those lovely long summer days? They go on forever, and all the time to be out in the countryside. Did I mention the countryside? I have only been to a few in South America and all 3 in North America. I say the United States, love the desert? We got you. Love mountains? We got you. Love the coast? Love rolling plains, giant forests, huge cities? We have it all. Although the Yucatan really gives everything I have seen in the States a run for its money. It's sordid place politically right now, but Venezuela is one of the most beautiful places on earth. The beaches to the east, mountains to the west, savanna throughout the heartland, the people, the food, the culture, and many known and unknown natural wonders like Angel Falls and Mount Roraima. It's like a dream. I think for me it's gotta be Vietnam. Don't know what it is about the forests, but Therese just something so pretty about it. A very close second has to be the Scottish Highlands. Those rolling hills are truly something to witness. And me being Norwegian, I must say that my country is quite pretty. I love the US for the sheer variety, tropical rainforests in the PNW and in Florida, white sandy beaches, vast open deserts, huge snowy mountain ranges, wide open plains, alpine forests. Then you include Hawaii and Alaska, and there's really nothing we don't have. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly. I'm only alive thanks to every one of my ancestors before me, and I live through them and all their experiences and knowledge, even ones that come to me only spiritually. The stolen lands that are called the country and that of the US today, were the most beautiful ones a long time ago. Iceland for me. Just the sheer dynamic terrain, open fields without buildings for miles. The main highway you drive on from Reykjavik to Vik for all the sightseeing is ocean on the right, mountains and hills and valleys on the left. Insane. Every route is a scenic route. Lol, hard to pick. Switzerland is like a fairy tale brought to life. I just remember looking around and going, this is Rio. Greece has so many incredible areas and such natural beauty. The US national parks are worldwide treasures and so varied in their settings and terrain. It really depends on what you like. A little bit biased, but I think my homeland Russia is at least 3rd or 2nd on my list. No country is at the top, there's just a bunch of them in a single spot. Those countries are Norway, Switzerland, Mongolia, Canada, and Austria. I've been to more than 60 countries and I get this question a lot. For strictly nature, Kenya. For modern cities, Hong Kong. For old cities, Luxembourg or Prague. For landscape, Austria or Switzerland. For the most relaxing and generally beautiful, Finland or Sweden. French guy here, who's had the opportunity to visit a few European countries. Out of my admittedly limited experiences, I would have to say Greece. Meteora, Chania, Halkidiki, Edessa, Delphi, Elafonisi. Otherwise I would pick France, but I'm biased. Lol. New Zealand for both, but especially on a pound-for-pound basis. It's got alpine mountains, rainforests, fjords, uninhabited wilderness, volcanoes, beaches, islands, hot springs, unique animals, and cute farming and port towns all in a fairly small area. America baby, what a great mix of mountains, beach, flatlands, canyons, deserts, lakes, marshland, cave formations, tree lines and skylines, farmland and cityscapes. Other countries can top them in categories, but as a whole, it's majestic. In 1,000 years after Jesus returns to rule and reign, maybe I'll be able to answer this question. As for the time being, there's no way I am leaving the USA under any circumstances with the condition the world is in. Yemen and Pakistan are absolutely gorgeous, and Yemen is like something on another planet. People who are saying Switzerland, which is also stunning, should definitely have a look at Pakistan, they're not too dissimilar. Japan. I've been to a breathtaking tropical island, a massive cityscape and vast mountains with feet of snow all in the same country. Not to mention the architecture and natural plant life being gorgeous. Sweden. It's definitely a bit of bias since I used to come there twice a year as a kid, but the nature there is beautiful and the wildlife is also really cool. It never fails to disappoint, seeing a moose. For places I've been to, the Scottish Highlands are in the running. For places I haven't visited, the Faroe Islands. They look like Skellige from The Witcher 3 but with less ice giants and legends. Has to be the US, just the vast variety of scenery you can get. From glaciers in Alaska to palm trees in the USV Hawaii. Grand Canyon to the Statue of Liberty. Redwoods, mangroves. Amazing really, America. We have a lot of national parks and every kind of landscape you can imagine. Don't believe me? Take a road trip. This is coming from someone who has traveled quite a bit internationally. How can you name one? S tier for cities, towns, Italy, Austria, Switzerland, Japan, Scotland. S tier for great outdoors, US, Canada, China, Russia, Philippines, Costa Rica, New Zealand, Peru. Switzerland is the most beautiful nation I've ever visited. It is similar to traveling via a collection of stitched together postcards to take a train through that nation. It's just stunning. Austria, Switzerland, Norway. I've been to Austria a couple of times, and it's absolutely astonishing. P.S. Switzerland is amazing too. I definitely recommend visiting those 3 countries. South Africa is right up there with the most beautiful places I've been. India with an incredible diversity of landscapes from the Himalayas to rainforests to desert to tropical islands. I feel like a lot of Americans don't appreciate how beautiful the national parks are. Driving down Route 1 California on a nice day is one of the most memorable experiences I've had. USA hands down. Between the large span of biomes and the insane number of protected national and state parks, it's without a doubt one of the best places to experience nature. St. Lucia is absolutely gorgeous. The Tetons, waterfalls, hot springs, and pristine beaches. Also, the clearest water in the Caribbean with a wide variety of marine life.